Yeah! It's rewind time.
Calling all adventurers! Calling all adventurers! We have breaking news! Explorers from the National Geographic Society have just discovered a new land filled with wonder, exploration, and fun known as Jamar.
Whether you play on your tablet in Australia or your PC in France, Animal Jam has been the go-to online playground for millions of kids worldwide. So we're bringing everyone together like never before. That's why we're giving Animal Jam a new look. AJ Play Wild is now just Animal Jam.
Wait, hold the f up. The what now? Am I like turning deaf from all the Bepper intros? What's going on? Wait, what? Hold up, surely no way.
AJ Play Wild
It's now just Animal Jam.
and the original is a classic. And the original is a classic.
For almost 10 years, we have cherished and bloomed an online virtual MMORPG known as Animal Jam by Smart Bomb Interactive, formerly partnered with National Geographic. We have economically funded the growth of the company known as WildWorks, as well as supported the development of their games for almost an entire decade. We have watched them ascend to their heights like Apari's Sons in Animal Jam, as well as spectated their demise in the terms of player loss and revenue generation, similarly to the downfall of Freevo's SoundCloud rapping career. Membership purchases, buying merchandise, showing online support, creating content to spread word around the game. It's fair to say, as a community, we have always showed a certain level of respect towards the company, as well as the game's development team. And Clark Stacy happily danced around like a Jewish leprechaun around this pot of gems, the fruits of his labour that finally reached fruition during the peak of Animal Jam. Guessing their total net worth is like throwing a dart at a board. Players are the essential infrastructure of any online game. A successful game requires a large active fan base that can trust the game company and stay interested and supportive throughout years to come. The players can be seen as a resource by corporate groups, but what us loyal Animal Jam players really are is people, mostly kids who have spent a significant portion of our childhoods in this online world. The whole player base truly began to completely disintegrate once Kate, the community manager Nazi, began snapping away some of its most crucial community members for completely invalid and unexplained reasons, banning players without any explanation whatsoever. We get nostalgic about the mere thoughts of the Animal Jam soundtrack, we are left in awe by the iconic AJ art style, we feel accomplished for achieving social status or in-game items, we sprout a smile on our faces whenever we hear Animal Jammer YouTubers' intros, and we have made lifetime friendships throughout the game, real people that would go on to meet each other in real life. It's fair to say this game is a classic. Since 2010, the game has had major updates, overhauls, new features, changes of errors, shifts in systems, various success stories, and of course, controversies.
What are some of the code words that you've seen so far?
Pencil, stick, they're saying that, hey, can I stick my stick in you?
Yet even after over 3,650 days, it still remains the core staple game that we know and love, or love to hate today. Throughout the entire decade, 10 years, Animal Jam has never fucked up this bad. Unlike the faked death of Rosie Star AJ, this company's suicide was very much real the moment the Neanderthal cretins that even considered it would be a good idea to rename its primary game. Animal Jam Play Wild was a completely separate game, originally released for mobile to give the opportunity of non-PC users to try out Animal Jam. Eventually, the game was brought to the Steam PC store, where it remains as one of the most negatively reviewed games of all time. And that is of course for a reason. I myself have played over 24 hours on this game in one stream sitting. I now have severe chronic depression and I'm still looking for a will to live. It's like I'm stuck in an endless loop of watching Beppa's 27-minute long mail times. This video will not be criticising Animal Jam Play Wild, nor comparing the two and judging which is considered a better game. Play Wild was never meant as a substitute, it was simply a low-quality project that allowed children on their parents' mobile phones to access a similar playing field to PC players. It was not created for the OG, already well-established Animal Jam demographic to really transfer over. There was absolutely zero crossplay, no cross-compatibility to the PC AJ, or any data/account cross-saving between the two games. Absolutely no incentive for people with already established accounts, stacked with rare items and buddy lists filled to the brim with friends who would play the game. Yet for the most part, the loyal Animal Jam community still gave Play Wild a chance, accepting it as a secondary game and not a substitute, but rather an alternative for newer generations in the ever-expanding mobile gaming market. After 1 decade of taking monetary advantage of its player base and delivering lackluster returning content from years prior, Animal Jam, the original PC port, will completely cease to exist. Animal Jam will instead be renamed to Animal Jam Classic, meanwhile Play Wild will completely take over the main honour title of Animal Jam. You have made 2 crucial mistakes, AJHQ. The first one was disrespecting your lifetime fans that literally made your company what it is today. You gave a priority to their newer mobile ports of your game, rather than continuing to respect the primary demographic that were, here for Animal Jam. And the second mistake was making me feel like a boomer. AJ Classic, what the fuck is this shit? I am getting so mad. Shit, my back. Ow. I just cracked something. Holy shit. You know what, maybe we are starting to turn into boomers. Maybe I'm not that same PatchTheAlpha I was back in 2015 telling kids to KYS in Animal Jam. Hi, I'm Patch, the anarchist of the Animal Jam community, and today I will happily be parading on the grave of Animal Jam. No, sorry, wait. Animal Jam Classic, and doing what I do best. Complaining and ranting a whole bunch. Parental supervision is advised as I forgot to wash out my mouth with hand sanitizer today, so there will be swearing.
Go on, but go bass boosted. Fucking do it right into your mic.
Did you like the end?
Just having a ejaculate seizure.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Spaffing your lips out.
You should record that.
This will forever be remembered as the most revolutionary moment in Animal Jam history, and will be used as one of the primary case studies on how AJ died once it eventually shuts down. So, I have absolutely no precious script in this historical event. None at all. To start off with, I highly recommend you fully read the official AJ statement from their Instagram page, which I am blocked from viewing, by the way. To wrap it up for everyone, not waste any time and not to give you guys the corporate bullshit and just get straight to the point, the highly qualified marketing experts and business geniuses over at AJHQ thought that for the game's 10th anniversary, a truly special moment bear in mind for an MMORPG to survive this long, they decided to announce to everybody the glorious news that Play Wild, a subordinate secondary mobile game, will be taking over the main title of the Animal Jam franchise. The game formerly known as Animal Jam, Play Wild, Animal Jam 3D, or Animal Jam Mobile, will in fact fully transition into what we call Animal Jam. This has completely confused, triggered, and rightfully offended the majority of the community, partially because instead of focusing on creating new content for the special 10-year anniversary event, the brain-dead AJHQ morons wasted time and resources into an absolutely pointless rebranding that will only confuse its potential new customers and anger the already existing player base, which is already constantly decreasing as we speak. I first of all can't believe the people conducting these decisions, and of course the so-called community manager, are so out of touch, completely out of the loop, that they would not even stop to think and realise the overwhelming negative backlash they would receive, especially given their poor track record of banning innocent players and being so monetary focused over the most recent years. The original web browser version of Animal Jam is not shutting down yet, but it might as well be considering we have received literally no new content for months. I want to say close to a year now actually. It's fairly common knowledge at this point that after the release of Play Wild, the extremely talented development and artist teams were completely split, as the focus of the company became not wanting to see both games thrive, but instead splitting its long-time development team into two subsections. Separate offices that would work on both games respectfully and equally, right? Or so we thought. A year or so after Play Wild's official release, the AJHQ corporation of big brains could already smell the gems flowing in from the weekly microtransaction-based updates. Each new animal, pet, den, and more features were all released behind a sapphire paywall. A clever tactic used to prey on children willing to spend ridiculous amounts of money from their parents' credit card on a mobile port of their already existing game. Once the cash started flowing in, the only focus of WildWorks was profit. That is when PC Animal Jam began getting left completely into the dust. We received like 1 to 3 animals a year, and that was pretty much it. Oh, and who could forget the almost weekly membership bundles, where they would try and put on a facade that you somehow gain more benefits by buying a membership, when in actual fact, all of the items always eventually became purchasable from the Diamond store anyway, so there was literally no point of buying these bundles in the first place. One thing was certain after Play Wild's official launch, PC Animal Jam took a huge hit, and that's all mostly prominent due to the development team being split in half, or perhaps even more efforts getting put into Play Wild. If adding a secondary game to also consistently update alongside Animal Jam was not enough, Feral was soon added to the mix, and that pretty much confirmed the recipe for disaster, and uncovered the true intentions of WildWorks moving forward with the rebranding. To all the children watching, sorry Mean Man Patch has to ruin the surprise for you, but similarly to Santa, millions of people still playing Animal Jam is the biggest fucking lie I've ever encountered. I mean, come on, it's almost entertaining how AJHQ portray the game as having billions of accounts, which it does not. However, the sad reality is that a significant portion of those are dead accounts from people in their 20s now, alternative backup accounts for extra storage for the already existing players that wanted more accounts to store things on, as well as banned accounts, which AJHQ still keeps logged onto their system. With hundreds of thousands of installs on the App Store, Google Play, but not on Steam, as over there people, actually have a few brain cells and good taste in games, Play Wild became the next booming thing that pleased WildWorks' pockets. This is also rumoured to be the time when Clarinet Stacey would go on to be able to afford his expensive, exquisite, luxurious holidays and start taking photographs of, naked babies? Okay. CEO of a kids company. Nice. Following this huge success, WildWorks clearly saw the potential and began focusing on mobile game development, with its current project, Feral, having the intentions of being released on mobile too, which will be extremely amusing to see the reviews for this 2010 looking bland flash game with nothing to do inside of it. Okay, now you may be thinking, Boot Page, you just play a whale tater, you're PC Master Race. No, I'm not. I actually invested a significant amount of money into the game before my unjust ban on my PatchTheAlpha account. I want to say I spent a collective of around $200 US. Yeah, it's sad, I know. You may also wonder why exactly have I spent so much time in detail describing the changes that occurred in the company way back since 2018, Play Wild's prime, and even earlier. Play Wild is not the death of Animal Jam, and whilst I am 200% under the belief that it does not deserve to obtain the name Animal Jam, I believe making a 3D port of their game would have been beneficial for everyone, as long as they retained the same amount of focus and resources into their core game, Animal Jam.
Companies and organisations often change their logos or identity in a bid to move with the times or to reflect a change in the products or services they sell. But it doesn't always go to plan. Here are 10 worst rebranding failures.
Number 1.
AJ Play Wild is now just Animal Jam. And the original is a classic. And we've got the best way to celebrate the change.
Animal Jam. The original PC version we've grown to adore over the years will be getting completely replaced and thrown into the abyss of their other forgotten games such as Dash Tag, Tunnel Town, and... oh god, remember AJ Jump? That shit was ancient. I want to address this enough, just like in the beginning when I told everybody to read the official statement on AJHQ's social media pages for themselves, but to essentially break it down for you, the undeniable decline of PC Animal Jam and the overall focus towards mobile gaming.
Is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this strictly mobile forever?
Are there any, the current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
What we do here is go back.
Mobile gaming has resulted in Play Wild somehow reaching up to the top, stealing the 10-year-old stealing the 10-year-long legacy of Animal Jam and just slapping it on some low-quality 3D pay-to-play scratch game. Thinking about it now, they should have just named Play Wild AJ Shadow Legends. Now I'm gonna slap a huge warning because I'm about to go on an autistic tantrum that includes, get ready for it, my opinions. Dun dun dun! Animal Jam staff, listen here you stupid thick cunts. Nothing about this is positive. You're not fooling anyone, not the nostalgic teenagers that play your game out of quarantine boredom for the meantime, and not even the kids that have joined recently. Every single player has just about completely had it with your prolonging of content, the abysmal management of your services, time management, as well as lack of community communication and help. As well as of course making these bullshit promises that you still care about Animal Jam, when in actual fact all you ever give a shit about is money. But that well is finally running dry, and Feral will by no means fill it back up enough with its low quality Roblox looking dragons. But hey, maybe now you can rename Feral to Animal Jam 2, so you can leech further from the initial success of the original Animal Jam household game that people actually once respected you for. There are 3 crucial points, each being a valid reason on how and why you pissed off the entirety of the community. And although I feel like they do not need to be explained, you people seem to have the brain functionality comparable to Internet Explorer, so here they are. Number 1. Quite possibly the most important point. You have disrespected the whole player base by renaming a different game to Animal Jam. It has left people so confused, offended, and rightfully triggered that your side game, Play Wild, is receiving the name of a game with so much nostalgia and respect behind it. Number 2. Terrible timing. Not that this choice would have been more appropriate at any other date either, however in recent years, especially the past few months in particular, AJHQ has been so careless towards their AJ-oriented games, focusing in guess what? Yet another side project, Feral. You'd think they would solve the lesson the first time around, yet you're continuously failing on delivering your promises, on continuing to regularly add new content to the main game. You've left it in a dormant state for what, like 2 years now? Just sell off your trademark game, AJPC, if you have no intention on developing it further and let a different company with a new, more qualified, non-power abusing community manager take over. Maybe that's what the game truly needs, a fresh new start from this chaotic decade into a new company that will actually take care of the game. Number 3. No new content. We are still waiting, AJ. The only thing that you mention in your post is just basically pleading your players to keep staying and playing your game whilst you know, takes so long to deliver these updates whilst you update Play Wild every other week. What the community honestly needs right now is a well thought out and honest apology. And please, for the love of Zeus, do not leave this task to the incompetent imbecile that came up with this idea to begin with. The community will roast, meme, and completely incinerate the person that came up with this whole idea name change thing. Number 4. But there is another. I actually just added this in whilst watching the aftermath of the announcement unfold. Animal Jam has fully updated their webpage with cancer new graphics and confusing layout. But the thing that has people fuming mad right now is the navigation. These fucking incompetent idiots made it so hard to access the game through the webpage login that the Jambassadors and YouTubers are having to make videos telling people how to play the game. People literally cannot log in.
Okay, emergency video. This is for players who do not know how to log on to Animal Jam Classic. So you're going to click right there. We're on the Classic page. You're going to click player login right there. And if it doesn't work out for you, I'm going to show you what to do. You have to clear your cache and cookies. Click the history button, scroll all the way down, show full history, clear browsing data, and this is where you got to pay attention. Click cookies and other site data, cached images and files, and emphasis on all time, okay? Remember to click the all time. You visited Animal Jam way more than just 24 hours ago, so just click all time and clear data on both cookies and cache. Remember that. Cookies and cache. Cookies and cache. Repeat it to yourself. It works. Trust me.
The first thing you see when you go onto the official Animal Jam webpage are advertisements for Play Wild, the secondary mobile app, and a link to download the web version of Animal Jam PC, now called Classic, onto your desktop. Oh my god, never have I been so entertained by such a chaotic unfolding of events. People having trouble installing it, some are completely unable to play, the website is causing issues to people's system, and in general being unresponsive. Play Wild is also apparently currently completely unplayable on iOS. This whole fucking situation seems to really prove to everyone the preparations and thought process that these dumb schmucks put into the rebranding. All they had to do was change a simple logo, but they made the entire community furious because of their limitations, confusion, and selfishness around wanting people to literally transfer over to Play Wild, it seems. I have a funny idea for a quick meme video regarding their webpage, but in general it's a whole mess right now, and I recommend to people that you don't play the game at all unless they fix their shit, and demand a free membership for being unable to access their game temporarily. They're wasting your purchased membership subscription, and you deserve to be compensated for it. I cannot wrap my head around how the people in that Salt Lake City, Utah building came together and accumulatively decided that diminishing the saving grace of their company, the miracle that gave them the opportunity of success, Animal Jam, how could they have thought that presenting it now as just a mere shadow of Play Wild would be a good idea? Animal Jam Classic sounds bad and everyone hates it because it makes us sound like boomers for respecting and supporting your game for 10 years. The game does not need an additional subtext entered underneath it. We know we have the foundation of your company, the OG Classic Jammers. Listen AJHQ, I'm no miracle worker, but I do have a college A-level diploma in branding and design, so looking at this pathetic last attempt of a change is painful. I don't know which empty-headed buffoon was put in charge of such a simple task and still failed so miserably. Here are some ideas I, or any other of the Animal Jam community could brainstorm within 5 minutes. Name Play Wild Animal Jam Mobile. The most simplistic yet self-describing change. Remains the core iconic logo design of your brand, and even retains the good stigma and opinions of your main Animal Jam product without it feeling forced onto the Play Wild brand. After all, Play Wild is the mobile version of Animal Jam. Me as well as many others have always called it that and seen it as just that. I understand you have ported the game over to Steam, which looks, functions and plays absolutely horrendously by the way. However, the game would still be appropriately named Animal Jam Mobile. Additionally, rename Animal Jam to... Get ready for this, I really put all my chromosomes to work on this one guys, even the extra one. Animal Jam PC, if you really have to distinguish between Animal Jam Mobile, even though there would be completely no need whatsoever.
Just discovered a new land filled with wonder, exploration, and fun, known as Jamar.
I also wanted to go through some other Jambassadors' opinions. Now, bearing in mind their opinions are wrong and not as important as mine, of course. I'm joking, okay, my ego isn't that big. I'm ironically imitating the self-centered, big-headed nature of most of these so-called jambassadors. One of my more respected jambassadors, Ellipsity, made some great points as well as a useful tutorial on how to log in. If anyone that even still plays the game on my channel, I recommend checking that out. We got Wisteria cracking jokes in the comments and memeing the situation. This Goop guy doesn't like it either. Thotty Roblox leaked the entire Google Hangouts Jambassador meeting on the subject, confirming the Jambassadors were made aware of this change in private. Congrats to everyone for not standing up against this and being a submissive bitch for Kate. And Cheerios seems to have completely forgotten about the old Animal Jam name already, which is unusual because for a literal elephant, I'd think his brain functions at least that much. Either way, I guess AJHQ really did get the whole squad laughing on this one, as from what I've seen, none of even their star pupil, the Jambassadors, have their back on this one.
I can't hear anything. I'll ear rape them. Ear rape them.
With the shutting down of Adobe Flash later this year has become a pinnacle point of discussion and unnecessary stress whether or not Animal Jam, the PC version, you can fuck off if I think I'll call it AJ Classic, will indeed be closing down. That is completely not the case, although as I have described in detail, don't expect any new revolutionary content. Animal Jam will shut down one day, just like other MMORPG games with long runtimes such as Club Penguin and Moshi Monsters. They have made similarly terrible decisions of branching out into microtransaction-fueled world of mobile gaming. The real question is, when will that day come, and is it approaching? More people leave than join Animal Jam. It is clear that most people finally mature and leave the game, and although AJ tries their best to scrounge for little kids to join and become paid customers, this boat has already been fallen to the endless pit for a few years now, and compiling all the previous controversies of banning half of your player base like a power tyrant Thanos, what you get is a very unhappy community completely fed up of your bullshit. The very last point I'd like to make once again ties directly within the core message of this video, and that is the lack of respect and clarity, mostly towards your content creators. The YouTubers are the only reason why your game is still alive. YouTubers provided you with free marketing, tons of exposure, and most importantly supported your company when it was truly at its lowest and the biggest L of all time. Do not take advantage of them by providing them with zero content to work with for the past months, then dropping this eggshell of a mess that is the rebranding bullshit. Nobody will support you. The situation will receive no positive attraction, and your true money-oriented focus of the company, and all the other mistakes of the past will be revealed and shed to light, once again exposed. Any larger content creators that would like to share their negative experiences for an upcoming huge project, please directly contact me on Instagram. It is very important that everyone is heard out. All I'm going to say to my fellow Animal Jam classic YouTubers is that you may want to start selling your Gucci handbag weed pouches and start packing up your bags, because the future seems to behold a grim fate. As always, the community has been extremely vocal about this issue, however, in this instance, there is an overwhelming amount of people who are actually bonding together for this cause. The entire community is rallying and sharing their distress for the issue that's affecting the entire community, and this is a very rare but somewhat wholesome sight to see. The whole Animal Jam community united for one cause. Please feel free to share all your opinions in the comments below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Let's start a conversation and a friendly debate, and for a meme and to lighten the situation, guess the exact date in which you think Animal Jam will close down in the comments. Let's see who's accurate, guys. As for me, I will be patiently waiting for the next jam-tastic AJHQ announcement, where they will have to break the news to every Animal Jam player that every pixel on their account, all hundreds of hours they put into the game, will be diminished into thin air, similarly to the stocks and profits of WildWorks, and ultimately Kate's paycheck. Will that day come soon? I sure hope so. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Maybe I'll finally be able to catch that early AJ retirement this year under a nice cozy campfire. The lighted mess, of course, being this company's assets, history, and legacy. As I wrap up this video, I would like to let people know that this is a tiny fraction of the research I have conducted on WildWorks and its employees and flawed systems. I have a colossal caricature of a video that I will one day hopefully present to you guys and wrap things up once the game inevitably closes down. Project Alpha will possibly come to fruition sooner than I expected. Oh, and congrats Animal Jam, what a way to celebrate your 10th anniversary. Fantastic.
Come on, yeah. Yeah, pussy, yeah. You are
Yeah.